Today we'll be reading Sith Weapons, Komok-Da Recording, from Jedi vs. Sith, The Essential Guide to the Force, by Ryder Windham. Author, Komok-Da. I am Komok-Da, direct descendant of the original Sith, and master of weapons and armor. I will tell you of Sith weapons, but only if you vow to use them, for nothing displeases me more than to know that a weapon gathers dust. The earliest Sith weapon was the Sith Sword. When the exiled Jedi first arrived in Sith space, it was with these blades that my ancestors greeted them. The Sith Sword is an alchemically altered blade attached to an ordinary sword hilt. The alterations enable the blade to deflect blaster bolts just as lightsabers do. The blade also focuses the force energy of the user, giving the edge an unnatural sharpness. As the wielder grows more proficient in the power of the dark side, the blade becomes more deadly. Sith swords are effective against lightsabers, not only because of the way their alchemically altered metal refracts the lightsaber's energy, but also because they retain their rigidity and sharpness against such energy weapons. And unlike ancient lightsabers, Sith swords do not require power packs or energy cells. Despite the fact that a Sith sword was often a match for a lightsaber when wielded by a trained Sith warrior, they are seldom used by contemporary Sith. Although lightsabers are a superior weapon, there is still nothing quite as satisfying as feeling the warm spray of blood when one cleaves through one's enemy with a metal sword. There are no records that tell whether the earliest Sith Lords had any knowledge of lightsaber technology, which the Jedi were still refining when they banished the Dark Jedi to the unknown regions. The earliest existing record of a Sith who used a lightsaber was the self-proclaimed Dark Lord of the Sith, Freedon Nad, a former Jedi apprentice who learned the ways of the Sith from the spirit of Naga Sadow. Despite Nad's complete lack of Sith lineage, it is a testament to his powers that he conquered Onderon and transformed it into a prosperous world. More than 300 years after Nad's death, his spirit trained another renegade Jedi, Exar Kun, who modified his own lightsaber into a double-bladed weapon. Since adopted by other Sith warriors, the double-bladed lightsaber can be ignited from either end or both ends simultaneously. On some models, the handle can be disconnected at the middle to become two separate weapons. The design of the double-bladed lightsaber maximizes the weapon's potential and provides an added surprise in duels with the Jedi. Armor and talismans can be alchemically treated during construction to tip the scales of battle. Dark armor is almost always created to meet the specific needs of the wearer, and generally provides additional protection against blasters and lightsabers, or extra resistance against certain forms of attack. Sith talismans are less restrictive physically, and can provide the wearer with an extra defense against blaster bolts, lightsaber blades, and even the Force itself. I will advise anyone that it is best to craft one's own personal armor and talismans without assistance, as assistance cannot always be trusted to serve one's best interests. The Sith lanvarok is a short-range weapon worn on the forearm and designed to hurl thin, solid discs in an unpredictable spray pattern. My ancient ancestors developed the lanvarok as a hunting weapon, and those who are strong with the Force will have little difficulty guiding the discs to their targets. The lanvarok is specifically designed for either the right or left forearm, and few are interchangeable from right to left. Although the lanvarok is time-consuming to reload, it is well worth the wait when one sees the fear and surprise in the eyes of one's enemies as they receive a sudden hail of whirling projectiles. Although edged and projectile weapons are designed to kill on contact, some targets are most resilient, and one should never dismiss the use of Sith poison. Created by means of Sith alchemy, this toxin is more accurately described as a disease. Once in the system of a Force-using being, it remains there, gradually weakening the enemy's resistance to the dark side of the Force. Sith poison can be introduced into a victim's system by ingestion, but I admit a preference for using a long-range dart for injection. The poison feeds victims' anger, drawing them closer to the dark side. A strong dose can overcome those who have already embraced the dark side, and even the most powerful Sith are usually unable to heal themselves after the poison sets in. I am more than willing to provide detailed instructions on building any Sith weapon or concocting Sith poison. However, you must first demonstrate your ability to kill without mercy. Return to me with proof of your kill, and you shall be rewarded, but be warned, I will not be impressed if you return with small prey. I hope you've enjoyed this reading of Sith Weapons, Komok-Da Recording.